guys, are you willing to be hypnotized? Watch this video and pretty soon you'll be clucking like a chicken. No, I'm kidding. But as I learned in this video, being hypnotized is an experience unlike anything I've ever felt. So if you're ready to open your mind, make sure you watch until the very end. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Blair Cho. I'm a registered nurse, mindset coach, and an interior designer who's passionate about helping women redesign their lives. So, whether you need a teeny tiny refresh or a complete overhaul, I've got you. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button so I can keep creating free content just like this. And go ahead, share the video with a friend to give them an instant boost. Let's go. Welcome, Emily. So, guys, I have Emily Gornick with me today. She is a spiritual coach for women. She just got back from Africa. She does a ton of cool stuff. So, I am really excited to talk to her today. So, first of all, Emily, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
That's awesome. I'm super excited to talk to you. So, how was Africa?
Oh my gosh. Africa exceeded my expectations times a million. It was so amazing.
Which countries did you go to?
I was just in Tanzania.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. Which is really all you need when you're doing a safari, which is what I did when I went there. I went on safari.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So many animals, all the things. Yes. It was truly, I was there during a full moon. So it was like, so
wow.
awesome.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. So what kind of animals did you see?
My gosh, I saw so many lions. I saw a lot of giraffes, a black rhino, which was really cool.
Wow.
I saw like 7 of those, which was amazing. A lot of cheetahs, leopards, flamingos, ostriches, like you name it, I saw it. It was so cool.
That's awesome. So when you were there, did you like camp out, stay in a hotel? What'd you do?
Yeah, so I went with my parents. It was for my 40th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. That was back in December. So I got to extend my birthday a little longer, which we don't hate that.
Right.
But what you do, I mean, you can do kind of a plethora of different options. What we did is we did a private tour and we stayed at different campsites, but it was more like glamping. Like we had electricity, hot water, shower, toilet, the whole kit and caboodle. So it really did not feel like camping.
Yeah, that's the way I would have to do it.
Yes, you and me both. I'm not trying to like rough it.
Right, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, but there are like some lodges, some like bigger type of things, I believe. I didn't see them because we went kind of more luxury, if you will.
That's awesome. So jealous. That sounds so cool.
Yes.
My 40th birthday is in July and I have 0 plans. Definitely not anything that cool. So,
well, you don't have any plans yet.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
You could do something. Who knows?
True. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
So I wanted to dive into the spiritual coaching realm. And I know you had mentioned that you deal with Akashic Records, and I'm really interested in learning more about that. But first of all, just tell me kind of what is a spiritual coach? What do they do?
Yeah, spiritual coaches, gosh, they can do a plethora of things. For me personally, I help women uncover and develop their spiritual gifts through combining mindset reprogramming and a little woo, if you will. I like to call it approachable woo. We don't go like live in the forest. We live in real life. But all that to say so that women can actually step into their authentic selves fully and understand their intuition, how to express themselves so that they can live their purpose and create impact and income in their lifetime. And that's really what I've been brought on this earth to do, and I love doing. And I know, yes, we talked about, some of the different modalities I used or use with my clients. So I am internationally board certified in NLP and hypnosis and like all the cool mindset reprogramming techniques that I'm so glad are becoming more mainstream so people actually know what they are.
So NLP, is that neuro-linguistic?
Yes.
Okay.
And so that's like essentially subconscious reprogramming.
Yeah. Wow. So how do you get accredited in this? What kind of schooling do you go to?
Yeah, great question. I happen to find my mentor, her name is Amanda Bible. She's Inner Beauty Bible, and I cannot recommend her enough. I actually got master certified with her. So I went practitioner and then master, and anyone who gets to see a video gets to see one of my pugs join.
Yay! Love that.
I always have coworkers here. But anyways, her school is really great because you do a lot of it online, and then she has an in-person retreat where you go for over 6 days and you'll both experience the techniques and actually do them yourselves. So it's a really like immersive experience. You have to have a certain number of hours, a certain number of different things so that it's accredited by the certain boards and people that be out in the world. But it's really great. There's a lot of different programs out there though. So I always tell people when they're looking for accreditation when it comes to the mindset piece, which I don't have yet in my spiritual coaching certification. I will eventually have the accredited portion of it, but to go and find someone that really resonates with you, that you're going to be excited because you're spending a lot of hours, learning and crafting and seeing what resonates and what works for your clients and what really works for you. And I've sent Amanda a ton of my clients too. So she's one to check out if you're interested in the mindset piece of it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So if you give me her information, I'll be glad to link it in the show notes along with yours, of course, so that potential clients can reach out to you, get connected, kind of learn what it's all about.
Perfect. I love it.
So you said hypnotherapy as well, correct? So something I actually learned recently from one of my prior guests, she was a hypnotherapist. I did not know that you can actually hypnotize yourself.
Yes, you can. Because technically, even if I were to guide you right now or guide your guests listening to this into a hypnosis, at the end of the day, it's actually the person who's being hypnotized that is in complete control. So you absolutely can hypnotize yourself.
So you could do something now and hypnotize listeners?
Yeah, as long as they are a willing participant. Also, if someone's like, I don't want to be hypnotized, they could listen to me give the whole spiel and not be hypnotized.
Okay, so can we do something quick? And like, I will not get hypnotized because I'm trying to lead this episode, but can we do something quick? I think that would be cool.
Yeah, we can do something quick.
Okay, what do we do? What do you hypnotize us about?
So we can hypnotize. Why don't we hypnotize around being magnetic? Because I think I'm going to guess a lot of your audience and a lot of mine, we desire to be magnetic, right? We want to manifest our vision boards and our dream life and all the different pieces. So when we go into a hypnosis, it is a great time to get clear and then put that into your subconscious, right? You're visualizing, you're living it, and it becomes like, I don't want to say second nature, but it's like it's a done deal. But I love hypnosis. I love it because it is something that allows you to be relaxed. And I think for anyone who is listening here, who's going to hear me just take you through just a couple minute hypnosis here, is if you're driving, you can do this later. Please do it while you're in the comfort of your home or you're pulled over on the side of the road or something.
Right. I was just thinking that, like, should we warn people?
Yeah. We don't want you to like veer off because you are going to be closing your eyes.
Okay.
One of my favorite techniques is by a famous hypnotherapist. His name is Dave Ellman. He's one that I was brought into my certification with Amanda that I love. Script is really quick, drops you into that theta brainwave and allows you to reprogram any type of limiting belief. So like I said, we're gonna implement a little magnetism today.
Okay, perfect.
A little magnetism.
Let's do it.
And Blair, you actually can be hypnotized and still be here in the podcast.
Really? Is it going to make me?
It is not going to make you like loopy. It's not gonna, if I was doing hypnosis in the records or hypnosis tied with Reiki, then I would say probably don't do it because we're going to have spiritual experiences. But we're just going to do a straight up hypnosis. We're going to keep it clean.
Yeah, let's do it.
See what happens. All right. So go ahead, close your eyes. Listeners, close your eyes. I want you to take a deep belly breath in and go ahead and hold it for a few seconds. And as you exhale this breath, just allow yourself to let go of the surface tension in your body. Just let your body relax as much as possible right now. Now I want you to place your awareness on your eye muscles and relax the muscles around your eyes to the point they just won't work. And when you're sure they're so relaxed that as long as you hold on to this relaxation, they just won't work, hold on to that relaxation and test them to make sure they won't work. Now, this relaxation you have in your eyes is the same quality of relaxation that I want you to have throughout your whole body. So just let this quality of relaxation flow through your whole body from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes. And now we can deepen this relaxation much more. In a moment, I'm going to have you open and close your eyes. This also shows that you are in control during this whole process. So when you close your eyes, that's your signal to let this feeling of relaxation become 10 times deeper. All you have to do is want it to happen, and you can make it happen very easily. Okay, now open your eyes, close your eyes. Feel that relaxation double. Your wonderful imagination, and imagine your whole body is covered and wrapped in a warm blanket of relaxation. We can deepen this relaxation much more. In a moment, I'm going to have you open and close your eyes one more time, doubling that relaxation you now have. Make it twice as deep. Okay, now open your eyes, close your eyes. You are now so relaxed, every muscle in your body relaxed. As long as you hold on to this quality of relaxation, every muscle of your body will be totally relaxed. And now this is our body being relaxed, right? But we can also have mental relaxation. Now in a moment, I'll ask you to begin slowly counting backwards in your head from 100. Now here's the secret to mental relaxation. With each number you say, double your mental relaxation. With each number you say, let your mind become twice as relaxed. Now, if you do this, by the time you reach the number 98, or maybe even sooner, your mind will become so relaxed that you will actually have relaxed all the rest of the numbers that would have come after 98 right out of your mind. There just won't be any more numbers. Now you have to do this. I can't do it for you. Those numbers will leave if you will them away. Now start with the idea that you will make that happen, and you can easily dispel them from your mind. Want it to happen, will it to happen, make it happen. Now in your head, say the first number, 100, and double the mental relaxation. Deeper, relaxed. Now double that mental relaxation again and let those numbers already start to fade. 99, deeper, relaxed. Double your mental relaxation. Start to make those numbers leave. They'll go away if you will them away. Just push them away. 98, deeper, relaxed. Now they'll be gone. Dispel them, banish them, make it happen. You can do it. I can't do it for you. Put them out, make it happen. Are they all gone? Of course they are, because you willed it that way. And now I want you to imagine yourself as completely magnetic. Every intention, every desire you have, every picture, image, word on that vision board you created this year is a done deal. I want you to feel that magnetism radiating throughout your body and replacing any fear or doubt that you might have. That relaxation that you have put now allows you to place that magnetism right into your subconscious and conscious mind. And that magnetism gets you exactly what you desire. Perhaps it's the money, home, cars, perhaps it's clients, perhaps it is just that feeling of freedom and fulfillment, that impact, that income, everything you desire, because you are so magnetic. You just walked in to have dinner, your table's not quite ready, and they want you to go sit over at the bar. And as you sit at the bar, the bartender places a glass of wine, or perhaps it's a mocktail in front of you. And as they do so, they said, no, this is on the house, because you have to wait. Why is it on the house? It's not just because of that. It's because you are truly magnetic. And all of a sudden it is as if clients, money, opportunities are falling from the sky to you because you are so incredibly magnetic. Everything you do, you say, are like creating spells out into the universe, creating even more magnetism, even more abundance, even more prosperity, all while making your life easier. Because this magnetism does not mean we work more. It means we actually work smarter, because our energy is what is calling it into us. We are truly, truly magnetic. You are magnetic because you are willing it to be so. Now, in a moment, I'm going to count backwards from 10 to 1, and I want you to awaken 1/10 of the way with each number until you are fully awake. 10, 9, 8, little bit, 7, 6, 5, halfway there, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes, awake. Welcome back. Do you feel more magnetic?
That was wild. I have listened to like hypnotherapy recordings before for certain things, but I feel like I never really got to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like as you were saying, like, relax more and all that kind of stuff, like, I really felt like I was relaxing more. And it was like what you were saying was kind of like in and out, like I was like zoning in and out. I don't know. It's hard
Yeah,
to, is that normal?
it's totally normal. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Totally, totally normal. And for those listening, do know that with hypnosis, although it is visual cues, not all of us are visual. So you may be just feeling sensations or hearing things or just an inner knowing of what I'm saying. And that's totally, totally fine. Everyone's experience is going to be a little bit different because it's how you perceive and control the narrative. But at the end of the day, it's just that now that programmed in magnetism of like, well, of course, these things happen to me. Like, of course.
That's amazing. I still feel relaxed, to tell you the truth.
I love it. Well, I mean, it's evening for us. You should feel relaxed.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, listeners, if you guys enjoyed that, if you experienced what I experienced, please comment down below. Let us know. Reach out to Emily. I think it was awesome.
Yeah.
That was super cool. Super cool.
It's one of my favorite mindset modalities. I just feel like our mind is so powerful, especially our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind essentially accounts for 90% of everything we do, right? Think about it. It's from your breathing to your swallowing, your heartbeat, like everything. You know, when you were driving home today, I bet there were points where you didn't even realize, right? It's almost like you zone out, but you still at home,
Yep.
right? That's because our subconscious takes over. And we get so many, like, gosh, I can't remember what it is for my certification, but like so many millions of bits of information every single day. And our mind instantly puts it into buckets and stuff that our subconscious is already running. It just like, we just delete it.
That is so crazy. So, what type of clients typically come to you? Who do you help?
Yeah. So I typically help female entrepreneurs or those that desire to have their own business. And it's more so that they're like, I want to have some type of something for myself. I want to uncover my purpose, right? And I want to really step into myself authentically. I feel like I'm on the edge of something. That's when women come and find me because it's like they know that they're holding themselves back, right? From fear of judgment, fear of worthiness. Like, do I even have gifts? Like, how do I use my intuition? Like, what do I even do with that? Would someone even pay me with a spiritual gift right out there? And that's when they come to me and I'm like, got you. We got it. We got you packed. And then I work with them. It just depends. I take on a limited number of one-on-one clients, and that's completely customized to whatever the women are working and moving through. Right. It just totally depends. And there'll be some business things that go into the one-on-one, but a lot of it is like the mindset and the energetics and the getting them to a place where they're magnetic. And then I also do have a spiritual coaching certification that I have created that is so amazing. And it actually has a lot of different modalities. It is a spiritual coaching certification, but I do have some clients who have gone through it, not necessarily to be a spiritual coach, but to learn how to bring in these modalities and techniques with their clients. They end up walking away certified in Reiki. They're certified in the Akashic Records, Reiki in the records, time techniques, EFT tapping, just intuitive coaching, that whole bit, while learning how to build a business during it. So it's really great for those like healers who just aren't really sure what to do.
So I heard you mention Akashic Records.
Yeah.
What are they? I know nothing about them.
Yes, I love it. So the Akashic Records are essentially, think of it like a place above the cosmos where all of our lifetimes live. And there's such a potent, energetic place where we can go to both learn from our past selves, future selves, activate, release. I actually have my own modality. It's called R&R, which just stands for Reiki in the records. My spirit team gifted me with that. And it's just a super potent way. It's like having a Reiki session and then times that by like infinity for the energetics that you're getting from it. And I love taking clients up there and allowing them to experience what it is they need from an energetic and a mindset component too, in order to really release and activate what it is that drives them.
So is that something you could do virtually?
I do it actually all virtually. All my clients are virtual. Yep, all over Zoom. In fact, majority of my clients are not in the US. They are in Europe and Australia. I only have one client right now in the US, which is wild.
So when you are working with a client, what does a typical session look like?
So it with one-on-one, what we do is we'll do an initial intake session where I'll get kind of a lay of the land. It's a lot of thoughtful questions and provoking questions that get to the root of where it is they're starting at. And then we talk about like, where do they desire to be in 6 months, a year? What is their end goal? And then each session will be different, just depending if they, what they're moving through. I have one-on-one client right now who's really working around her money mindset. Right. And we actually just did a values exercise where money wasn't even in her values, right, with her business, which is wild. And so we were able to move and put it into her top 10 values. And now we're working on any of the last fluff that's under there. It also could be anything from inner child healing, past life stuff, generational traumas. It really just depends. It's, like I said, it's completely customized. So just whatever they're working through, whether that's a trust in themselves or like a worthiness in themselves to, having that want and desire for success.
So you mentioned past life. I am super interested in that. I've read a little bit about it and I actually almost had it done, but I felt like the person that I was talking to, she was in New York, based in New York. My intuition kind of told me don't do it. I got like a weird like scam vibe.
Yeah, don't do it then.
Yeah, so I never followed through with it, but tell me more about that, how it works, what you're looking for, how it can affect your current life.
Yeah, I think past life is so interesting. So one of the modalities that I'm also internationally board certified in is called time techniques. It's essentially like timeline therapy in not so many words, but timeline therapy. And that and or going to the Akashic Records and allowing either my clients to pick the doors of the past lives they need to go to, or perhaps doing a time technique up there. It's what's really great about it is if you have, let's just say you have a limiting belief around like self-doubt, right? And you're like, I know that it's true, but there's still this self-doubt that I'm having. That tells me, right? If I tap into your energy, that tells me that it could be a plethora of things, but typically what it is actually past life. Like you may have tried this before and different pieces came in that maybe weren't as successful as you wanted to be. So it's coming off in this lifetime of this self-doubt. So what we'll do is we'll go along their timeline to the root cause of where this doubt stemmed from. What lifetime was it that it stemmed from? And then from there, we can learn the lessons and actually release that self-doubt completely, drop it into the timeline, into all the lifetimes and your current one, so that it just no longer is a thing. So it's a little bit of a mix of both subconscious reprogramming and energetic reprogramming.
That's very cool. So typically, is there a specific era that you would see people from nowadays, or are they all over the place?
All over the place. In fact, I was just with my one-on-one client yesterday. We did a past life regression and she went to 10 lifetimes ago. And then I said, is there any other lifetime though where something crept in? And we went to 2 lifetimes ago and then to this present one. And we're able to completely clear out her limiting belief. I had another client recently who had a cord connection with a past lover, if you will, but in this lifetime they met and she was like, I just feel like I can't get completely tethered from him. And I was like, well, that's because you have some stuff past life, right? So I recorded Akashic Records past life regression for her to go into the doors. And I was guided to tell her to go in to 7 different doors, which would mean 7 different lifetimes that she's had with him. Go in and release and cut the cord. And after that, she was feeling so much lighter, so much more empowered. And she literally got engaged. Right.
My gosh.
To her, not the woman I had all the
Yeah. So do you typically see people, like if they were prevalent in their past life, do they typically reunite in their current life? Or like over and over again throughout lifetimes?
I believe that it does happen to us. I think that we spend a lot of lifetimes. You and I have probably had a past life together where we were doing something. I don't know what it is. We'd have to go back and look.
Yeah.
But it all can vary, right? Like it doesn't mean that every past life, like, that her and this man in this lifetime were together romantically. They could have been best friends. Like she could have been the man and he could have been the woman. Like it could just be a total
Right.
knows. But I do believe that we typically have, it's not usually our first lifetime with people.
How many lifetimes do people, is there like a set number or it just keeps repeating forever?
I don't believe it repeats forever. I believe that it depends on per person. I think some of us have been here many, many, many lifetimes. Some of us, maybe this is our first time here on Earth, right? And it's our first time experiencing that, but we've had different experiences, whether it be other dimensions or planets or things of that nature.
So I'm sure you're familiar with the term soul contract.
Yes.
When you come back to your human experience, you sign a soul contract to learn that particular lesson during that lifetime. So when I think about that, I think that like, okay, in my past lifetime, I learned whatever. This lifetime, I'm like building upon that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. So I think that we come into each lifetime needing a sense of both duality, right? And so whatever it is that we're building on, you're exactly right. It's building more on your foundations so that as you become more enlightened and at a certain point, you wouldn't necessarily come back to
Yeah.
now or Earth. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have all of those answers quite yet, but
that's what I feel like. Like once you reach the top and you've accomplished your overall goal, like you don't need to take human form anymore.
Totally. I agree. That's what I believe. And I also think that all of it's totally open for interpretation. I think everything's about intention. So
yeah,
I agree with you though, Blair. I think that is been my experience and what my guides have shown me. So I think that is accurate, but who knows? And then it's also wild because there are some who have had, like I said, they've had like probably like 100 lifetimes. And then there's some that have had, this is their first time as a human. And it's like, interesting.
it's just wild to think about. I don't know. It's hard to wrap your mind around some of these concepts.
Totally.
Yeah. So having someone like you who can explain it and knows more or is more knowledgeable and can kind of walk you through it and help you understand it, I think is super beneficial to people.
Thank you. Yeah. And I feel like that is definitely one of the like pillars of my mission is what I mentioned in the beginning was that approachable woo, because I really believe that there is becoming a bigger understanding and people are going through their spiritual awakenings more and more and more and quicker. And, the collective is shifting. And so having people like myself who can explain it in a way that, maybe like a muggle would understand is great because it's really like, quote unquote normal in my
yeah. So I find it interesting that you said that the collective is shifting. So I have been hearing that from a lot of people that collectively I don't know if I would use the word advancing, but we are changing. Like, have you felt that? What do you think about that? What do you think it means?
Oh, 100%. I think the collective has shifted. I mean, if I think about my own spiritual awakening and my own spiritual journey, before 2020, I did not tell anyone that I was a psychic medium. Like, I'm not telling you that I can communicate with the dead. I would have like sooner gone and hid in like a spiritual closet. No, thank you. But now it's almost, people are so curious and it's like, wait, what is that? Like, wait, hold on. I think I'm experiencing that too. And it's almost like it's more mainstream.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like more people are more open to it. They're willing to learn. Their beliefs are shifting. It's not just about organized religion anymore. There's a lot more doors that have opened. And I just think people as a whole are much more open to learning new things and giving it an actual chance to make sense to them.
I think that that's exactly what it is. And it's even, I mean, I grew up in a Catholic household.
Me too.
Went to private Catholic school, like the whole 9 yards. My dad is still a practicing Catholic.
Yes, mine too.
But my dad is the one we still go to church on
Christmas Mass.
Christmas Mass. We're still going.
Yeah. Yep.
But what was interesting as I have evolved, and of course, for me, 2020, I had my biggest spiritual awakening where I no longer could keep my gifts hidden, which I'm so grateful for. Um, and he actually said to me, because he was like, you know what? He was like, Emily, at the end of the day, we both want the best for people and we're doing it the way we think that we should. But who am I to say if my way is right or your way is?
Right.
Like, as long as we both are trying to help people, at the end of the day, we're both doing good.
Right. I love that viewpoint. I really appreciate that. My dad I call him like a holiday Catholic. Like he's there for Christmas and Easter at Mass, but not there every Sunday or
Oh,
anything.
see,
But
my dad is the every Sunday.
really? Wow.
Oh boy, my dogs have just decided they're talking about church. We got to go nuts.
They hate it like I do. I used to hate going to Mass, and my dad made me go to CCD and everything, which is like, if you guys don't know, Catholic Sunday school. It was
Yes,
terrible.
yes.
Yeah. Yep. It was terrible.
We did that. Well, I think what's been interesting for me, Blair, and I don't know if you found this maybe through out just your growth, right? Because that's I think what we get as women is there's just some more enlightenment and more of like, I think that I really was like, ugh, no to organized religion. I was like, this is terrible. I'm out. And then I had my spiritual awakening, and I just really I don't even know if it was like 2021 or maybe 2022, but I had this moment where I was like, well, who cares? I mean, organized religion gives people community and it gives them a sense of purpose. Now, do I agree with half the stuff they do? No. But if I think about it, I'm like, well, I mean, I guess, yeah, go have community. I like community. It's just not for me. But as long as it's, people doing now, we could go down a whole religion rabbit hole where there's stuff that's good happening. But for those that are in general trying to do the best they can with what they have and have a purpose in that, then I'm kind of like, all right, yeah, like I can go sit through this Christmas mass and like it's important to my dad, and I no longer feel that like ick going into it. You know what I mean? It's more like, okay, yeah, this is important to him. He knows I'm not going to get up and take communion, and I know that he's going to be happy that I sat here for an hour to an hour and a half.
Right.
Good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like growing up going to Catholic church and CCD, it really turned me off from all organized religion and even made me feel icky about the word God. Like I still, when I pray, I don't like I pray to the universe. I feel like praying to God just feels uncomfortable for me still. Almost like some weird sort of like religious trauma. I don't know. It just feels weird to me. And it just turned me off. I was a self-proclaimed atheist for a long time. I couldn't get with it. I was like, I couldn't align with it. I didn't vibe with it. And then about 15 months ago, I had kind of like a spiritual awakening, and I felt like there was something more. I still, and like still now, don't think God, like what people typically think of. Like when people say God to me, I think of like a big man in the sky. Like it's not that for me. It's more just like that there is a higher power. There is something more than our human experience. And, if you're here to do the right thing and be a good person, then you don't have to go to church to do that,
Totally. Well, there were a few years when I was very anti going to church that I was like, well, why don't we just go and volunteer during that hour to an hour and a half? I'd rather go do that and give back than go sit and be miserable.
Yeah.
Then obviously through my own healing and growth, I recognized like it's not actually about that for my dad. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, yeah, I can go sit. Yeah, that's fine.
That's a really good idea, though, going to volunteer.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. I was like, why
That's a
can't we
super
just go
sweet
volunteer?
idea. That's super cool.
We could go like help the homeless or feed, to, I don't know, or like go pass out gifts at a shelter. I don't know.
That's super cool. And that is like, a really good-hearted, like soulful thing to do.
Yeah, totally.
I love that.
Totally. I know. I do feel like I do also attract a lot of women who grew up in very religious households. Mine wasn't even very religious to be there. Like we didn't go every Sunday, but like I went to private Catholic school, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. My dad wanted to send my sister and I to Catholic school, and my mom was kind of like, nah. And it helped that there were none very close to us. So we got to go to public school, and our eyes were open to a ton of different things.
Boy.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's all interesting because like where I grew up, the public schools just weren't very good. So like you sent your kids to private school, if you could. And I don't even know that it was necessarily like, oh, that's because this is Catholic or sending our kids.
Yeah.
That just happened to be like what all the private schools were, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said that you are a psychic medium and you communicate with the dead. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So you aren't like where you can look at a person and are there different kinds of psychic, I guess is what I'm asking. Like, can you look at a person and like catch on to what they're feeling and thinking? Or are you more like you can communicate just with dead spirits? What?
Yeah, for me, yes, I can tap into someone's energy. I can tap into their spirit. I call it a spirit team. It's your guides and loved ones on the other side. But I can tap into their spirit team and get a better sense and understanding. It doesn't mean I always know what's going on. People ask me that. They're like, why don't you go buy like lottery tickets? I'm like, it's like
Yeah.
that. I wish.
Right.
I wish. But, I can absolutely do that. I think that a lot of women, especially, are psychically gifted, right? It's our intuition, right? You walk into a room and you instantly know if like someone's super magnetic or if there's been a fight going on, even though everyone has plastered smiles on your face and you walk in and you're like,
Right. You feel the vibe.
You feel it. Yeah. And that's really your intuition, which comes in line with your psychic abilities of just knowing like things you shouldn't know, right? If someone's like done you dirty and you're like, you're telling me you haven't, but I feel like you have. It's because you have that nudge. And the reason you're not getting maybe necessarily a clear view of it psychically is just because you haven't developed the muscle, right? You haven't actually sat with how do I experience others in a way that I can then like understand that communication with myself.
So how do you develop that muscle?
Yeah, so developing it is quite honestly, it's practice, but it's being in a safe space where you can learn how to do it by setting boundaries with the other side, by gaining more insight into your intuition and how to develop it. It's why I love helping women uncover and develop their spiritual gifts, because one of my spiritual gifts as a psychic medium is I can actually tap into yours and help you develop it. Meaning, if you were a medium, which would then be communicating with the other side, people's past loved ones, I can actually pull up that same person that you're channeling so that you can develop the confidence that you're actually getting that same person, right? Like I would be writing words and you would be saying them and I'd be like flashing on the screen like, yep, you're right. Like we're good, all these different things.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I sat in a bunch of different spiritual development circles, developing and crafting my gifts, but it's like anything you do. It's really all about practice and getting comfortable and confident in your skills and your gifts at the end of the day. And I do say that because for me, like I could do medium readings. I could probably make a decent amount of money doing that.
Right.
But I know that I'm here to help women actually develop theirs. So I will do a one-off. Usually people want intuitive guidance, more psychic, right? Like, what am I doing? Where am I going? What's happening? But I do notice if I haven't channeled in the medium realm in a while, it feels like a little like, it's like riding a bike. You could come back into it when you've developed it as long as I have, but it does take a minute where I'm like, okay, yep. Okay. Let me like get my bearings again. Like, let me do this and get comfortable again. Cause it's like if you don't do something at work and you haven't done it, for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden you go back into it and you're like, I know how to do this. I should let me.
You get a little rusty.
You get a little rusty.
Yeah. So I feel like it's obvious what my next question is going to be, but do you sense anything from me?
Well, I will say for my spirit team, I have very strict boundaries with the other side. So unless I open myself to channel, I do not receive anything unless I ask for it. However, with that said, I'm always open to people's energy because I don't want to like interact with someone who I'm like, oh, thank you. Right.
Right.
And so I always have that baseline open. So I think it's important.
Yeah.
We're all human.
That's a great gift to have.
Yeah, I want to know what I'm getting into. And I would say for you, like I felt even in our just initial chatting, I was like, okay, yes, like good vibes, good energy, feels like we'll have a great conversation.
Awesome. That is so sweet. I love that.
Look at us. We're like having a blast.
Just chit-chatting, hanging out.
Yeah, that's right. We're hanging out.
That's awesome. I love that. That's super cool. And I really think that that's super awesome that, you could pick up on other people's energy because, like you said, if someone has a lot of negative energy or it has ill intent, that's ideal that you can know that before you interact with them.
Yeah. I would argue that we all have it too. We all have that gift. It's just whether we want to listen to it, right? Because we all know those people that have come into our lives that we're like, I kind of had a feeling, but I just chalked it up to anxiety, or I chalked it up to like, I must be crazy. And then they end up being exactly how they showed you they were, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's also just, I think, as we grow and develop our own boundaries with ourselves and others, that we start to recognize those things and start to be able to implement that without having to develop your psychic abilities,
Right. Yeah. I feel like women have good intuition, but sometimes it's so quiet and sometimes it may not be so quiet, but women in particular, I feel like push it off.
Well, yeah.
They ignore it. They try to push it down like, I have a gut feeling about this, but I'm just going to do it anyway.
Yep. Totally. Totally. And I would say I think a couple of really easy ways that your listeners can start developing their intuition to be a little louder, if you will, is look for signs like angel numbers. I feel like everyone knows what an angel number is these days.
Right.
11, 888.
Yeah. My necklace, I don't know if you can see it. It's an 1111 necklace.
Yes, a little 1111. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I love a good 1111. But see where it's like license plates, a random sign, like your necklace. Like, I don't know. It's like, now I'm going to be like,
right.
I'm in alignment. Thank you, spirit.
Yeah. Everybody who's watching this just saw an angel number.
Yeah, you just had your first angel number. And well, probably not yet, but you know what I mean. But I think angel numbers are amazing. And also asking for a sign. I, in fact, love asking for signs that I'm on the right path. Or if I'm like doing something in business where I just feel like a little resistance, I'll ask for a sign. One time when this was my first year in business, I was kind of thinking about throwing the towel in. I was having
it can be discouraging, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? As entrepreneurs, this won't be my last time of should I throw the towel. Like, it's part of the journey and it's totally fine. But I remember the moment where I literally said in my mind to my spirit team, I said, if I should keep going and not just quit and go back to the easy corporate life, show me a red balloon. And I am telling you, Blair, that night I went to a street fest. I live here in Chicago. They have all the best street fests. There was a cover band. The first song they played, 99 Red Balloons.
Oh my gosh.
Like, okay.
That's crazy.
It will come from anywhere, right? Hello, 99 Red Balloons. Then the next day I went over to my brother and sister-in-laws, and my nieces were watching a television show, and a Lucky Charms commercial came on, red balloons. And then My Little Pony came on, and there were freaking red balloons. And I was like, okay.
Oh my gosh. It's everywhere.
Yeah, I was like, I got it.
I agree. When you ask for a sign, it's amazing how it can show up because I've done that before. I've asked for a sign, something that kind of meant a lot to me, but was something random that you would not see a lot. And I swear I saw it everywhere. It would come up at the most random times, but I haven't seen it in about a month or two, and that's making me kind of scared. Like, should I ask again? Does it mean I veered off?
Well, I do think what's interesting is there are moments where we ask for signs and we don't receive them. And I feel like that puts my clients in a panic. Sometimes they're like, I asked, I never saw it or heard it or whatever. And I always say tap in though, because I think the reason you're not getting the sign is because you're looking for outside validation on something that you already knew the answer to.
Maybe.
And your spirit team isn't always just going to be like, let me you say jump and let me say how high. they also want us to take ownership of ourselves. So if we're asking for sign after sign after sign, at a certain point, our spirit team's going to be like, listen, girl, you already know the answer. You do not need a sign, right?
That is a really good viewpoint. I like that.
It's like, listen to yourself. You already know you don't need the outside validation, which is what our spirit team is, outside validation. Again, it doesn't mean that they won't like show you another sign at a certain time. But if I'm not seeing a sign and I'm finding myself where I'm like, I'm not seeing it and I'm kind of disappointed, guess what? I already knew the answer to whatever it is I needed that sign to.
I hadn't thought of it that way. That really changed my perspective, and it makes me a lot less afraid, and it makes me a lot more confident in the road that I'm going on. Because initially, when I started down my path that I'm currently on, I was seeing it everywhere. And now that I haven't seen it, but I'm still on the path, that makes sense. Like, maybe they're like, you're on it, you're doing it, like, you're good to go. Need to look for that sign every day anymore.
Yeah, you don't need that validation. Like, you're good, you're confident in the decision you've made and you're making it. And then if you do have a falter moment, you can be like, all right, team, like, I'm gonna need to see that.
Yeah.
And
When you have like a big decision to make.
yeah, and that's okay. Like, that our spirit team, they're literally just waiting for us to ask them to help us, to put things in our path, to remove things, to give us guidance. Like, they're literally like kids on Christmas morning when they're like, oh my gosh, she asked for a sign. Like, I'm so excited you asked her a sign. How can I show it to her?
So do you think that your spirit team does it typically just consist of people that you've lost in your life, or like archangels? Like, what would typically make up your spirit team?
Great question. For me, it's my guides and loved ones. So yes, it is those who have passed away, certainly, but it's also, archangels, light beings, star beings. For me, I have a lot of spirit guides from other planets, which is cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. I haven't quite figured out what I'm supposed to do with all this cosmic knowledge, but we'll figure it out one day at a time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be mine. And so it is also interesting because I have my core spirit guides that have been with me since I came into this earthly form and whatnot. But I also have guides that come in and out. Like, as I started my business, I had a guide step forward who was like, okay, I'm here to help you with your business, right? They were always there, but not necessarily like I wasn't utilizing them. And I believe that it is like, as we embark on different pathways and different things, we will have different spirit guides or loved ones step in to fill that role.
So something just hit me really strongly. You should write a book.
Okay, I actually probably should.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's ever told you that, but I feel like it just hit me and I'm like passing thought, but then I'm like, no, like, tell her.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
you should write a book.
Okay, yeah, I will write a book.
Yeah, I think that would be super cool. Let me know. Send me a copy.
Yeah. I know, I'm like I'm gonna have to write like a few different books because I have books on so many things.
Yeah, that's right. I think you'd be great at it. That would be awesome.
Ugh. I'm gonna sit with my spirit team and be like, what are we writing a book about?
Right. There's so many things.
Volume 1.
Right. Volume 1 out of 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know they got a lot to say, so they're probably like, ooh, what do we want to talk about first?
I'm sure you've heard of Esther Hicks and Abraham. Is that like what it's like for you? Like, you channel their wisdom, like what they're guiding you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like as tuned and tapped in as Esther and Abraham Hicks. That's like so wildly cool and amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's awesome. That's incredible. I feel like you're living life, you're on the right path, like everything is working out because you've got someone in your ear, like helping guide you.
Absolutely. I really, truly don't ever feel like I'm doing it alone. Of course, I have my human mentors too.
Yeah.
I'm just relying on the other side. Like, they don't always know. Sorry, spirit team. You don't always know. But it is really cool to be able to just like, co-create with them and see how good it gets.
That really provides, I would imagine, like a sense of comfort and safety.
Yeah. It also makes me mad at them sometimes if they're not doing something quick enough.
Oh my gosh. They're not Amazon. It's not 2-day shipping.
They're like, time doesn't exist on our side. I'm like, cool. Time exists here.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep, that's right. Well, Emily, thank you so much for joining me. I think it was a super awesome chat that we had. I loved it so much. I learned a lot from you, and I know our viewers did too. I will link all of your information down below. Thank you so much.
Yes,
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and I hope everyone got a little something out of this.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. So if you guys like this episode, make sure you subscribe, like the episode, leave a comment down below for me or for Emily. We will be watching, and I hope you guys have a great night. Bye.